Welcome to Stephen Johnson's Stocks. It's me, Stephen Johnson, Jeevan Johansson, and I'm at work again because I'm putting in a bit of graft update in the Excels and shit. And if you want to know about me, cleared a grand. Well, obviously you do because that's why you're watching. Cleared a grand in the last couple of weeks. Trading 84% winning average, and I'm never going down more than $100 because I'm being very disciplined, except one time. Which is in the fucking show which is coming up. So trading very disciplined, trading very well, trading pretty safe, putting in these consistent $100, $200 days, and it's all from just learning from mistakes, learning over time, and tracking data, tracking patterns, and doing well. If you haven't got the Excel, I'm going to send it to you right after this video if you've paid for it. If you do want the Excel, it's $50. I was charging $75 and $100 at one point, but if you want to know the absolute truth, when I get my salary at the end of this month, I should be able to pay off my credit card. It's the last debt that I've got, and then I've got my IB trading account, which is like $26,500 and no debt at all. So because of that, I'm not in a rush to fucking take money or make money. So it's just $50. This is me trying to help others and give back, not being greedy, charging tons of money for shit. Okay. Because I could charge more, but I'm not doing it. Because I want to be different. I'm trying to be different. Trying to be fucking different, like the guy from Pulp Fiction and Samuel L. Jackson. Trying to be different. I'm trying to be the shepherd. Trying to be the shepherd, and you're the gun, or you're the sheep, and I'm the shepherd, or I'm the sheep, and you're the shepherd, and the Excel's the gun. Do you know what I mean? Fucking mental, probably not. Some comments call Kenny over 12 months in the challenge. You haven't made the big bucks. When are you going to? It's a steady thing, probably year 3, year 4. I'm still only a year and a half in. And the big bucks will come, but it takes time. George, congrats, bro. George has been steady. George has been patient. George has been fucking following this channel for ages. So rock and roll to you, George. Full on respect. Great to see you back. It's people like George who will make money, but you've got to be in this for a couple of years. So many people who followed us at the beginning are not following now anymore because they've lost interest in trading, but I'll be here for fucking ever. Hussein, I had my first green weeks, a couple of green weeks, but it was blockchain mania, and now I haven't had one since. Hussein, stay in there, start hunting for those green days. When you're not having the green days, look at your trades, see why it went wrong. Make sure you don't make that trade again if it's gone wrong more than a few times, or you don't see good risk reward. Start tracking specific setups so you don't have to risk your money, so you don't have to have the red days. Let's get into the trades. Don't dig a hole with a spade. I am about to fade out, and I have a fucking sexy maid. Welcome to my Excel. I always think, remember American Pie when I was a kid? I always used to be one of the kids from American Pie. But anyway, first of all, I mean, really, I'm on course right now for the, not monetary-wise the best month I've ever had, but certainly percentage-wise. Won 13 out of 15 trades, nearly an 87% win rate, which is by far the best I've ever had. It'll probably be the most accurate I've ever been trading. And you'll be like, oh, well, what are your losses though? Are you controlling your losses? And the answer is, yeah, I'm very consistently never really been down more than $100, $200 in any trade, or I'll cut it. And there's two things I've really done. One is the kind of tracking data, being very selective over the trades that I take and only taking kind of the safer ones. And two, the more important thing is I used to, if I was doing well, I used to just go really big size. And if you go really big size, it messes up your probabilities because it's like a casino. Like the house always wins. Like the house will lose on some nights, but over the course of a few months, it will win because the probabilities are in its favor. But for me, if I all of a sudden size up big, then the probabilities might not be in my favor. And if I have a run of bad luck, then I can fuck myself. So what I've tried to do is keep all of my trade sizes the same, just to grind out $100, $200 a day. And then if I do have a run of bad luck, which can come at any time, or I'll lose my edge in some little way, it's going to be okay. Like maybe I'll give back 10, 20%, which is only a few $100. So I've really been trading well, banging in consistent days. If I don't say any trades, I'm just not trading. Like I haven't traded the last couple of days because despite the market being a bit mental, I've been pretty. None of my patterns have come up, so I've just not traded. And I mean, really, make another $900 and I'll clear 2 grand. If I clear 2 grand this month and next month, then this loss is pretty much gone, and I can go on to being profitable this year as well as last year, which seems very much the case. And then after that, then I can start maybe saying like, look, I'll try and make, like, say right now I'll make 100 to 200 a day, and I'm trying to risk 50 to 100. So then next month or the month after, I can say, well, I'll try and make 200 to 400 a day, and I'll risk 100 to 200. But the most important thing is not sizing up too fast, and that was the lesson that I kind of learned by losing that 4 grand on that one day. But if you look at my actual trading across February and March, it's all green days, apart from this one where I sized up too big and fucked up. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 green days and 4 red days. So it's winning 60-70% of the days. So it's very solid. A lot of it's through, like I say, tracking stats with all the data. This is $50 if you want to buy it. It's all up to date as of today. And if someone's already bought it, a lot of people haven't. I went to Barcelona and then I was sick. So if you've bought it and you haven't got it, just email stephenjohnson@hotmail.co.uk with your PayPal receipt and I'll send you today. Cheers. Well, Habibi, how are you? How are you, everybody? How are you? PTI has been one of the runners, and I mean, if we go back, maybe let's go back 2 years. I mean, yeah, it is a beaten down chart. It was in the 20s, and it's now in the 7s. But I mean, it is not the best long-term chart. But I mean, when you look at it really on a 1 year, I mean, for me, it's relatively clean in the last year. I mean, it's been down in the 2s, but it's certainly catapulted up, came back down, catapulted back up. I mean, not the best chart, not the worst chart. I've seen a lot worse than this. But I was basically shorting the gap and crap. So the stock has gap from the 4s to the 6s, and generally I don't really, it's a biotech, I don't really read the news on them that much anymore. I don't pay that much attention to news like I used to. But basically I look for certain indicators. I mean, one, is it up enough? I mean, really it's up from the 4s. At the time it was up to about, from the 4s to about the 7s. Yeah, the 7s here. So it's up quite a bit. It's up a good 70%, and a good, like, whenever these stocks go up 70%, the vast majority, about 70% of these stocks generally fail. I mean, especially biotechs. But every now and then there is a one that gets away. But this, combined with the fact that we had this, obviously, the gap up, the squeeze when whatever news came out, and then it kind of pushed, but then it couldn't really push higher than the 7s. It failed at the whole dollar mark. And when it was putting in these kind of lower highs, we can see this downtrend. That's when I really got interested in it, because we can see this kind of lower high pattern. And even when it kind of pops back up here, it's still, the overall trend is a downtrending trend. So I was shorting in the 640s, 630s, and I was adding in the 630s again into any push. And then obviously we had this wash in the morning, and I was up a few hundred around here, but it didn't quite wash out convincingly. And what you have to be wary of is when it put in this base here, and then it started making kind of higher lows, you've got to be very, very worried, because this thing has got shorts in it. Everyone knows it's up to 70%. Everyone knows it's more than likely to come down. It's got shorts adding, building positions, adding to winners all the way down from the 7s down to the 6s. So when it cannot base any lower, when it starts to hold, and then we get the volume in on this candle at 942, we're very primed for a squeeze, and that's exactly what it did. And I was fresh from Barcelona. I wasn't focused properly, and I know this pattern very well. And it squeezed, and I got caught in the squeeze. And luckily for me, it came back down, and I got out like up $100. But the real lesson for me is you've really got to have a stop loss, and you've really got to have your finger on the trigger uh, on these charts, because I mean, 34 million float, it traded 32 million. It's traded its whole float, so it's pretty volatile. And these squeezes are, I mean, I want to be going long on these squeezes, not, and I should have been covering really at break of pre-high day at 623 for break even pretty much. So, got away a little bit with this one, but what I do want to say is, a couple of, like, say 3, 4, 5 months ago, I would be going down 3, 4, 5, 600 bucks, sometimes $1,000 sometimes $1,500 on any single trade, once, twice a week, twice a week, 3, 4, 5 times a month. But I can safely say, since I took the loss in the start of February, I've only been down more than $200 once, and I'm up 1,100 this month alone, and I made a few hundred in the weeks in February. So for me, this is a really sloppy, but recognize it. It's the first time I've let myself go down more than a few hundred this month and in the last 4 to 5 weeks. So yeah, I'm doing a lot better, but this was a very, very strong reminder that you've got to be very careful when you're shorting these kind of stocks and building in positions when the trend starts to reverse on you. It can be very subtle. It can be as easily as a bottom holds a higher low, volume comes in, rips. And RFIL was a funny one, because if I remember correctly, it was up on earnings. And if we go back 3 years, this stock is at multi-year highs. So every indicator of this stock is bullish. I'm pretty sure it was earnings, it's multi-year highs, and it's gapped up on good news. So generally, a lot would suggest this was gap and go. The only bearish factor is that it's gapped up too much. It's like gapped up like 70%. And so I was watching this, and I was just interested in thinking all the factors are bullish, so let's just see what happens here. And we had the gap from the 3s up until the 5s, and then it was kind of like, wait a minute, what's going on? So we had, in the pre-market was super strong as well. I'll put the lines in for you. So we've got kind of like a high here in the 5s, and then it bases on its previous high. It makes a new high kind of in the 540s, and it's kind of got this higher low, and then when it goes to spike here, it doesn't really make that much of a higher high on this candle at 933, and then it kind of just holds. And I was thinking, for an earnings winner in multi-year highs, gapping up, really it should be a bit more bullish than this. And I was thinking, what is wrong with this stock? And it was kind of on this candle here, I went short at 536, because I was just like, why are more people not interested in this? Why is it not more bullish? And then I was thinking, well, if it's not more bullish, then it's probably going to go bearish. So I shorted 536, and I covered down in the 510s, because it just wasn't getting any. I was just thinking it wasn't getting any kind of. I don't know why I did it. I was just like waiting, and nothing was happening, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm getting out. So I was out in the 510s around about, and then it washed down to the 470s before squeezing back up, because ultimately, it's a relatively strong stock, but yeah, we can see it's now in the 440s. So when it gapped up, it kind of got a bit ahead of itself. It kind of shot its load, and you can kind of identify that when it didn't really run at the open, which was making it a kind of a good short. And it was nice. It was good to take profits, and it's good to know that you can short bullish stocks, but there's little nuances, like, has it gone too far too fast, things like this.
I was born and raised on Steel River. I see it all like it was yesterday. The ships and bridges, they were all delivered from Sydney Harbor to the Cisco Bay.
I don't even need to fucking speak! I don't even need to fucking speak!
I met my love down on Steel River.
Woo! winner of the report for Gambling Craft is JGBV. Name's popped up here. The winner of the Excel is Jack Kellogg. Excel is here. Your name is here. And yeah, I'm thinking about doing another report at the end of March with more data. Tell us if you want it, baby! Tell us if you want it! Because I get more enjoyment from living this dream than from anything else in life. Even more than sex, drugs, partying with friends, football, anything. Whoa, what the fuck just happened? I better go! I will see you later!